Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of the Lenten campaign. Thank you so much for being a part of this campaign. We've 420 people now signed up to it, so I'm absolutely over the moon and thrilled that so many people are looking after themselves this Lent. My name is Ellen, and if you have any queries or questions about this, please do contact me at any time. There is a contact form at the end of this page that you can use to get in touch. Don't worry at all if you didn't get around to your self-care this week. It's perfectly normal and natural, and life is just busy. So sometimes we just need to be very mindful and compassionate about that, and then you can start again this week. And chances are over the course of the next 6.5 weeks, you're going to have busy weeks and you're going to have not so busy weeks as well. So it's good to really just be very gentle with yourself, knowing that a little bit of self-care is better than no self-care. So just, as I said, go easy, make it easy. Don't put any pressure or expectation on yourself that you have to do it all the time. Don't make it into something that you feel that you should do, or you must do, or you need to do. More like, I want to do this. I really want to look after myself. If you have been practicing your self-care over the last week, perhaps you've noticed some changes. Perhaps you've noticed that you're a little bit happier, a little bit calmer, that you have a bit more energy. You might found that you responded a little bit more differently to situations in your life, or you might not have noticed anything at all. But it's worth reflecting for a moment or two this week and every week as we go through the campaign as well, because oftentimes little things can sneak up on you and you don't actually realize it till you stop and look back and say, wow, was I any different this week than I would normally have been? How was your self-care? How was it to do that, to take those 10 minutes every day and to really look after yourself? Did you enjoy the experience? Did you find it difficult? Very normal, natural, believe me. Or did you find that there was just too many obstacles to getting you into that space where you're putting in too many excuses as such to get yourself to your self-care? If that has been the case for you, then this week could really help you with that. So what are we going to look at today? Well, I've mentioned in my email that I sent out there that this is for all of us perfectionists out there. And I think most of us are perfectionists. Put your hand up if you're a perfectionist. 99.9% of us will be perfectionists in one area or all areas of our lives. And it can be something that I see with clients time and time again that really kind of stops them from showing up. It stops them from really reaching their full potential, because we feel if I'm a perfectionist, if I don't do a perfect job, then I can't show it. So it means, Ren, really that we have a fear of being seen, or we stop ourselves being seen in the world. And it's a real shame, because then we're really stopping ourselves from reaching our true potential. So what is perfectionism? Perfectionism versus striving and wanting to do the best that you can do. Well, perfectionism is driven by a fear of what will people think. That I must do this in order for people to think that I'm a good person or a good mother or a good sister or a good wife. It's driven by that fear. Whereas when we want to strive to do the best that we can, it's for ourselves. So it comes from a different intention, a different place. The striving part and wanting to do the best you can is absolutely great. The perfectionism can be very draining, very difficult to live with, as we continuously set the bar up here, and we're never, ever, ever going to meet it. I remember hearing from a teacher of mine many years ago, and he said that even in nature, perfectionism doesn't exist. So it's a myth that's being created by man, but it's a myth that's extremely powerful, and it's fed to us day in, day out by the media, by Facebook, by Instagram. We pursue this image and this want to be perfect, because if I have the perfect life, if I have the perfect body, the perfect relationship, the perfect children, the perfect outfit, the perfect everything, then I'm going to be happy, or the world will tell me I'm a great person, or whatever it is that is our payoff to that. So it's something that we find that once we get to that stage, if we're ever lucky enough to fulfill all of those conditions, that we actually get to that point and then go, oh, I'm not actually, what's here? There's nothing here. It's still the same head and the same shoulders. So it's a myth that we end up chasing, but it's a very difficult myth to step out of. And the tool I'm sharing with you this week is a tool that helps us to begin to try on something different, to practice something different other than perfectionism. And that's called a permission slip. So you might have had a permission slip when you were a kid. Yeah, maybe your mum wrote you one to get you out of PE, or when you didn't get your homework done, or to give you a day off from school. And I always remember mum writing them for me and just being so thrilled when I saw her notepad coming out with her pen. It's like, yeah, I gotta get permission for something. But of course that stops when we're 12, 13, when we go to secondary school, and no longer have we got permission from our mother. And the idea of the permission slip is to say, well, I can give myself permission now. I'm my own mother, I'm my own guardian, I'm my own caretaker. So why don't I give myself permission now? And it's really simple, but it actually is a really, really lovely exercise to do. And I've created a PDF. You can download it below. And on the first page of the PDF is an example of a permission slip. And the second page of it, you're going to write your own permission slip and you're going to get it witnessed then. With the perfectionism in mind, what you can do is write your own permission slip as I, Ellen Schilling, give myself permission to not be perfect. How would that be? Just trying it on for a week and seeing how it goes. Or you can have different permission slips if you don't want to use it for that. You could use I give myself permission this week to make mistakes, to be okay when I make mistakes, or even to deliberately make a mistake, obviously a very careful mistake, a very non-harmful mistake, and just be okay that I made a mistake. Or perhaps my permission this week is to do nothing on a Tuesday evening. That is one permission slip that I use regularly for myself, and I absolutely love it. My Tuesday evenings become my space. That is a real fill up my cup, self-care kind of an evening. And that could mean that I spend 3 hours in front of the TV. It could mean that I spend an hour and a half meditating. It could mean that I get into bed at 8 o'clock in an evening with Netflix. It could mean that I, go out for dinner, or I spend time with my partner. It could mean anything at all. But Tuesday evenings then have become very rich and fulfilling and fill up my cup kind of an evening as well. That's the permission slip that I like to use. Alternatively, again, you could use your permission slip to write down your I, Ellen Schilling, give myself permission to play. We often don't play anymore. So maybe the next set of swings that you see, you could get up and have an old swing, or, go to a comedy club, or just have more intention to be more light, have more laughter and more fun around the house or at work. Your permission slip can be anything you want it to be. But again, like all self-care practices, you can just give yourself permission to do whatever feels right for you, whatever you would like to experience or let yourself off the hook for this week. And in doing so and giving yourself permission, that really is an act of self-care. Because too often we're straining, striving, pushing, forcing, doing. That really, to bring balance into our lives, we need to not do. We need to give her permission to take our foot off the pedal as such. We need to rest, we need to come into a state of balance so that we can maintain that equilibrium and we don't end up burning out. And perfectionism is one of the main, definitely, contributors towards burnout. This week, permission slips and perfectionism. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all next week in your inbox.